Previously on Sims Survivor. After Landon and Reyna's eliminations at their tribal councils, it appeared that the Apolu tribe was unstoppable. However, at the immunity challenge, the Namua and Savai tribe proved this wrong, securing immunity for themselves and sending the Apolu tribe to tribal council. At tribal council, Neil unfortunately was outnumbered and was voted out. 12 castaways remain. Who will be voted out next? Hello everyone, welcome back to Sim Survivor. I'm really sad that Neil was voted out. Unfortunately, somebody had to go and he was just outnumbered on his tribe. However, if the Apolu tribe goes to tribal council again, things are not looking too good for Shrikumar because he went against his team. So I wonder if there's going to be any repercussions for that, because Lucas has an idol. If Shrikumar sets in motion an alliance against Lucas, I don't think it has a good chance of surviving. But nevertheless, we have a new immunity challenge and tribal council planned for today's episode, and another person will be voted out. It's so crazy to think that we're already 20 days into this game. We're at the halfway mark. We are now making our way towards the end of the season. So, without further ado, let's get started. Despite Shrikumar's rogue vote, the original Savai members on the Apolu tribe stuck together and were able to survive tribal council. It's interesting to see if things are going to shift though, because all the tribes now are on an even playing field, but the Apolu tribe has to bounce back. But there's kind of a bit of tension now because Lucas knows that one of his original team members did betray him. Does he know who? No, but that's definitely going to put him on edge, and with an idol in his back pocket, he is going to play however he wants. He's not going to be safe with it because he knows that he has the opportunity to be a bit reckless with his gameplay. I think if the Namua tribe goes to tribal council, it's going to be interesting simply due to the fact that they all stuck together in that recent vote, and I don't know who would be voted and betrayed against. I think obviously it would most likely be either Dylan or Roger, because both Kaylee and Kiana have idols in their back pocket. There's so much going on in this tribe, so I don't know. It's going to be up in the air at that point between which of the guys would be eliminated. And if it's a tie, that's even more uncertain, so I think the Savai tribe is the most interesting though. Christian and Ruby have a bit of tension, and they've both gone to sleep. Okay, whatever. They've both got a bit of tension. They both voted for each other at their tribal council. So Liana's in a bit of a difficult situation, because if she doesn't stick with Ruby, that may open the opportunity for Axel and Kristen to take that shot. So I think the most likely thing to happen if this tribe does go to tribal council would be some sort of tie vote, because I think that's essential for some people's survival. For Ruby and Kristen, it's imperative for a tie vote, because if your partner doesn't stick with you, you're not going to survive. I think Liana just needs to ensure that she's sticking with Ruby, because I think Axel and Kristen have a common goal of voting for Ruby. They weren't on a tribe with her previously. Liana, they have been on a tribe with before, so it's just difficult. Kristen just needs to butter up Liana and hope that she doesn't vote for him. I was just talking about this, but Ruby, Kristen, and Axel are all fighting with each other. This is not the type of energy you need going into an immunity challenge and a possible tribal council. It's not good whatsoever. It's not good for Kristen and Axel, because if they're not getting along, they're not going to vote the same. But it's also not good for Ruby, because she is, even though she has Leon on this tribe, she is the outsider. She is the odd one out. She was not on an original tribe with these people, so she needs to go 110% to ensure that she is liked by them. But starting and being a part of fights is not going to get her far. It'll be interesting to see if the Apolu tribe can regain control and win this upcoming immunity challenge. I think Shrikumar particularly needs it. Marie, I don't know. I really like her gameplay. She's been playing really under the radar, but she is still the only woman on this tribe, so she could be voted out for that. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think Shrikumar is in hot water. It was great for him to go against the curve of the vote, but it just didn't benefit him because now he's separated from his tribe in the sense that he's an easy person to vote out. He didn't stick with the tribe in the vote, so they could easily eliminate him because if he makes it to merge, he could be a threat who could sway between the different allegiances. So hello everyone, welcome to your next immunity challenge. But before we begin, I'm going to quickly explain how today's challenge is going to work. For today's challenge, one member from each tribe will participate in a series of rounds of Don't Wake the Llama. Each round, whatever person wakes the llama, aka similar to Jenga, if the tower ends up falling down, that person will earn a point for their team. However, this is similar to golf. You do not want points because the first team to 3 points will lose this immunity challenge and will be heading to Tribal Council. So, without further ado, let's get into the challenge. In our first round, we have Shrikumar from the Apolu tribe, Kiana from the Namua tribe, and Axel from the Savai tribe. And Kiana has woke the llama, which means the Namua tribe has earned 1 point. In round 2, we have Lucas from the Apolu tribe, Dylan from the Namua tribe, and Christian from the Savai tribe. Christian has scored 1 point for the Savai tribe. Savai and Namua both have 1 point. In round 3, we have Enzo from the Apolu tribe, Kaylee from the Namua tribe, and Liana from the Savai tribe. Enzo has scored the first point for the Apolu tribe. All 3 tribes are tied with 1 point. In round 4, we have Marie from the Apolu tribe, Roger from the Namua tribe, and Ruby from the Savai tribe. Ruby has scored the second point from the Savai tribe. Savai leads 2-1. In round 5, we have Shrikumar, Kiana, and Axel. Axel has scored the third and final point for the Savai tribe. Congratulations to the Apolu and Namua tribe. You both have 1 immunity and are safe from Tribal Council. Head back to camp. Unfortunately for the Savai tribe, I've got nothing for you but a date at Tribal Council. Head back to camp. Unfortunately for the Savai tribe, they could not pull it off in the immunity challenge. I don't want to speak too soon or give them bad luck, but I think Liana should be safe with this, only due to the fact that she has connections with Christian and Axel because they're on the same tribe, and Ruby and her are married, so Ruby and her aren't going to vote for each other, but I think definitely Ruby, Christian, and Axel have some work to do. Ruby is obviously on the bottom. She's the odd one out. But if she's been able to make good social connections, or her and Liana can vote for the same person, I think everything should go according to plan and Ruby should be safe. However, Axel and Christian are a dangerous duo. Yes, they've had their fights. Yes, they've been arguing. But at the end of the day, if they get rid of Ruby, they're splitting up a duo and they're keeping themselves safe. So, gonna be a difficult tribal council for sure. Luckily for the Apollo tribe, they were able to once again win immunity and they're safe from tribal council. I bet Shrikumar has a lot of ease off of his back. He's not that stressed out right now because he's not going home in this episode. He was an odd one out. I think Lucas and him would have aligned their shots at each other, but now that's just on pause for now. So it's definitely a blessing for Shrikumar. The Namua tribe is also safe. At one point I thought they were going to be the ones heading to tribal council. Roger and Dylan do not need to aim at each other. I don't think they would have either way because I think they have a good relationship. So I think either Kaylee or Kiana would have had to play their idols, but they don't have to right now, and it's good. You want to keep your idol for as long as you can in this game. It is a safety mechanism to keep you one step further, and they don't have to expend it this early, which is a huge advantage for them. For Ruby to survive this tribal council, she needs to hope there's a tie because then could go to rocks realistically. Speaking of Christian, now that he's here, I think the same thing applies to him. I think if a tie happens, hypothetically, between Ruby and Christian, that tie's not going to be broken. So I think that's something that they need to root for. Yeah, it puts Leon at risk, but then it will have to go to a rock draw, and either Axel or Liana would be eliminated. Not something you want to happen this late into the game, being eliminated by that, but definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. This tribal council is not going to be an easy one for Liana. She has to balance between her relationship with her wife and with the people that she was on an original tribe with, and one misvote and her wife or a close ally could be eliminated. So she's definitely in a difficult situation, and there is a possibility she could go home. So I think it's important for her to sit down and plan this effectively, or this could be her last episode. Hello everyone, welcome to your next tribal council. After 22 days in this game, either Axel, Christian, Liana, or Ruby will be the 9th person voted out. So, without further ado, let's get to the vote. Axel, you're up first. I will now go tally the votes. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and they would like to use it, now would be the time to do so. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. First vote, Ruby. Christian, that's 1 vote Ruby, 1 vote Christian. Axel, that's 1 vote Ruby, 1 vote Christian, 1 vote Axel, 1 vote left. 9th person voted out as Sim Survivor. Ruby, that's 2, that's enough. Please come bring me your torch. Ruby, the tribe has spoken. As your tribe's numbers dwindle, there's less room to hide. You need to ensure that you are in a good spot. That's all I have left to say. Head back to camp. And that concludes this episode of Sims Survivor. I am devastated that Ruby is voted out. She was a huge competitor in this game, but unfortunately she was the odd one out on this tribe. Fun fact, Christian had the same relationship level with Axel that he did with Ruby, so I had to go to a randomizer, and unfortunately, Ruby fell prey to Christian's vote. So Christian was the deciding factor. It was ironic because I thought Christian and Ruby would be pitted against each other, but Ruby didn't even vote for Christian, and it could have easily been Axel. Unfortunately, Ruby got that second vote. I can't wait for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. It honestly means the world to me, and I'll see you next time.